All right, everyone. It's time to make a video about Jehovah's Witnesses. It's been a while. I don't really consider myself one of the mainstream XUW YouTubers, as I care less and less about Jehovah's Witnesses as I move further and further away from the religion itself. But thanks to coronavirus, all assemblies are canceled until further notice. Now, to people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses, this might not seem like a big deal. But those of us who were in and who are now out can see the ramifications of what this may mean. When I was a regular pioneer ministerial servant in the Kingdom Hall, being a Jehovah's Witness was almost unbearable because you constantly needed to have that re-indoctrination and guilt put upon you. Use the acronym FOG, fear, obligation, guilt, to continue to keep going. Because a lot of stuff didn't make sense and you had a lot of issues in your life that were just made life a lot more difficult. Going to meetings on a regular basis, you're just constantly busy on what they say is a hamster wheel. All right. And so as long as you're busy, you don't have time to think about what you are doing and what everyone else is doing. All that matters is, you got to do what you're told, essentially. And so why does this matter? So I barely made it through pioneering, but each time I made it to an assembly, it was a lifesaver because it really reinvigorated me in my faith. So I needed to have that 5 hours straight of indoctrination to keep me going. And you see Jehovah's Witnesses have special meetings for people who do special services, such as a pioneer meeting. When a circuit overseer visits, you have extra meetings of encouragement because you're doing so well. But if you're a pioneer and you're knocking on doors and you're doing cart work or whatever field service you're trying to do with coronavirus going on, and you don't have that regular indoctrination, you're going to stop pioneering, or you're not going to enjoy pioneering and you're going to look for other things. You're going to have a lot more free time, perhaps even stumble upon apostate material that might question your faith. And so if you think about the assemblies, it's a whole day convention, all with thousands of Jehovah's Witnesses all in one spot, and you get to see everybody in your brotherhood. But if you take this away, it's just you and your family and possibly your small service group, who you actually be in contact with. And so you're not going to have that constant henpecking to keep you in and to keep you focused. And so you're going to get distracted with other things of the world, especially if you live someplace, that actually has something to do. And with most people with coronavirus, they're either going to be working or they're going to be at home on YouTube. And so this is definitely reasons for people to be bored, maybe look at pornography, get excited about that and, do some sin. They feel really guilty about themselves and they go and get treated like shit by the elders. And so then they leave. Hopefully something like that happens. The regional convention, most people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses are aware of the invitation you get. They invite you to it. It's a 3-day convention, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, of nonstop indoctrination. Because remember, Jehovah's Witnesses do not educate, they indoctrinate. Because if it was education, you would only need to go to school once, because then you continue to learn on your own. But because what they teach that makes no sense whatsoever, because it comes from the Bible, they have to keep constantly indoctrinating, not much different than other churches as well. Because, human logic will kick in, especially now that people are more and more educated. That's why people are leaving the churches more and more, and churches are becoming, I want to say, more liberal. And in fact, because the hardcore religious teachings that come from the Bible need to be ignored in Western civilization. And I made videos about this. And so you see a huge growth of more New Age churches that are Christian, but they have gay people allowed, they have women pastors and all this other backwards stuff that like the fundamentals still follow. But they just completely dismissed it and it's now gone. And so this is the way it's going to be. And so this is wonderful news. And they're also could have canceled the memorial. Now, granted, the memorial is the most important day of the year for Jehovah's Witnesses. Most Christians would consider this Easter, but Jehovah's Witnesses is a little bit different because they actually follow the Jewish calendar, and they always have it on one day. It doesn't necessarily have to be Sunday like Easter. And so they got to have that. I imagine what they're going to do with this is going to be in their small congregation groups. So they're going to buy a bottle of wine and make some bread out of weed or whatever and have what people call communion, but it's a memorial. And Jehovah's Witnesses don't really partake because they have the annual rejection of the Christ, and they don't partake of his body and his blood unless you're in a special class, which you're self-appointed in the religion. This doesn't make any sense to other Christians, and I apologize for that. Go to jwfacts.org and you can figure out what Jehovah's Witnesses believe. Anyways, getting that out of the equation, which is a huge situation for witnesses to be indoctrinated with, and you also get to have of that. That's now gone. Assemblies now gone. Regional convention now gone. Possibly meetings now gone. And so if you see witnesses leaving at the rate they're doing right now, which is about 66% of births leave the faith and only 33% will stay in, that rate is going to increase a lot more. It's going to be a lot of time on the internet. It's going to be a lot of time of research. It's going to be a lot of time away from the indoctrination, from the hymn pecking. And even if they return to it, they're going to be like, oh, I don't really want to get back into this again. Okay. And so this is great news. I understand coronavirus is killing people, and I'm sorry. Okay. But Jehovah's Witnesses kill people too. They refuse to let their children get blood transfusions. They, dismiss a lot of different medical things over this. And so many of them die all the time. You have children who reject college scholarships, who don't take school seriously, who reject careers, who reject lots of different talents they have because they're trying to indoctrinate others into joining the cult. And so, yeah, coronavirus is going to kill thousands, but, Jehovah's Witnesses are 8 million strong, and they're affecting around 20 million people around the world, which could, definitely ruin lives in that sense. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that, and this is great news.